Okay, let's just dive right into this, shall we? Because it feels like almost overnight, our world just got flooded with all these new terms. I mean, suddenly it's AI this and AI that, everywhere you look.
And it all kind of kicked off with this one, right? ChatGPT. It just seemed to explode out of nowhere and was suddenly in every conversation, every news headline.
And then, bam, almost immediately, we started seeing these incredible and, let's be honest, sometimes really bizarre AI-generated images popping up all over our social feeds. And now, it's not just text and images. We're hearing about AI making videos, writing computer code, composing music, even crafting entire stories. And the one thing that connects all of this term, generative AI.
But what does that word generative actually mean? You know, when you strip away all the hype and the scary headlines, well, in this explainer, that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to break it all down. No hype, no fear, just a simple, straightforward look at what's really going on.
All right, so first things first, let's get right to the heart of it. What is generative AI? The biggest clue is right there in the name itself.
The word generate literally just means to create something new. And that right there, that's the entire game. This isn't about finding stuff that already exists, it's about making something that has never existed before.
You know, this really draws a clear line in the sand between the AI we've been using for years and this new stuff. The traditional AI is all about sorting things. It's what classifies your emails as spam or predicts what movie you like on Netflix. But generative AI, it's a creator. It writes the text, it makes the images, it generates the video.
So this is the main point to remember, right? It's the difference between a librarian who finds the perfect book for you and an author who writes a brand new one just for you. It doesn't just choose from what's already out there, it creates.
Okay, that's cool. So if it's creating, how in the world is it actually doing that? Is it thinking? Is it just searching really fast? Let's peel back the curtain a little bit, just conceptually, and see what's actually going on inside a tool like ChatGPT.
So, before we talk about what it does do, it's super important to bust a few myths about what it doesn't do. First, it is not searching the internet live, like Google. Second, it doesn't think or understand things the way a human does. And maybe the most important one, it has absolutely no concept of what is true or false.
So then, how does it work? Let's try a quick experiment. If I show you this sentence, the sun rises in the... What's the very next word that just pops into your head?
East, right? Of course. Your brain instantly predicted the most likely word based on, well, a lifetime of patterns you've learned. Believe it or not, ChatGPT does pretty much the exact same thing, just on a scale that's almost impossible to imagine. It's basically a superpowered prediction engine, just guessing the next most probable word over and over to build sentences.
And where did it learn all these patterns? Well, it was trained by reading a huge, massive chunk of the internet. We're talking books, articles, online conversations, you name it. It didn't memorize facts from them, though. Instead, it just absorbed the structure, the grammar, and all the statistical connections between words and ideas in our language.
Okay, and this brings us to a really important reality check. Because understanding the difference between a search engine and a generative model, that is the absolute key to using these tools the right way. Here's how it shakes out. A tool like Google Search finds existing web pages that might have an answer and then just gives you the links. But ChatGPT, it doesn't do that at all. It takes your question and it generates a completely new answer by weaving together all those language patterns it's learned. I love this way of putting it. Google basically says, here's where the answer already exists. But ChatGPT says, here's an answer that I can create for you right now. See the difference? It's a huge one.
And of course, this whole thing goes way beyond just words. The exact same core idea, recognizing patterns and then creating something new, applies to images and videos and music too.
Let's take a fun one. Imagine you type this into an AI image generator. A cat wearing sunglasses on a beach. So what happens under the hood?
Well, first, the AI breaks your sentence down into the main ideas. Cat, sunglasses, beach. Then, it digs into the millions of images it was trained on to figure out the visual patterns for each of those things. And finally, it combines those patterns to generate a totally new image that's never existed before. It's not cutting and pasting pieces, it's creating from scratch based on what it's learned. So, what does all this mean for us? For you and me? Probably the most useful way to think about generative AI is as a powerful new tool, like a co-pilot that has some incredible strengths, but also some very real limitations. It is amazing at getting you started, drafting emails, brainstorming ideas, summarizing long, boring documents, basically speeding up your work. But here's what it's not good at: making final decisions, having any kind of moral judgment, or taking on real-world responsibility. That stuff, that's still our job.
And this is probably the most important takeaway for how to think about this technology. Treat it like your co-pilot. It can handle a ton of tasks and give you some amazing suggestions, but you are and you must remain the pilot in command.
So, let's wrap it up. The blueprint is this. First, remember that generative AI creates new content from scratch. Second, it works by recognizing and combining patterns, not by actually understanding things. And third, and this is critical, it does not know the difference between truth and fiction. If you use it wisely with that in mind, it's an absolute superpower.
The technology is here, it's not going away, and now you understand the basic blueprint of how it all works. So really, the only question left is this. Now that you know the blueprint, what are you going to create?